What's up YouTube, and welcome back to another PSO2 station recap. I have to say that this is like the third time I'm recording this video because the first time I didn't realize my microphone was muted. First time I just screwed up the intro. Second time I just didn't realize it was muted. I'm really smart this morning. Anyway, so this is actually a really exciting recap. Potentially. I temper my expectations. SEGA has been not always the best with figuring this out. However, it does seem like they are finally paying attention. This morning, this popped up. This is in the new station recap. It's currently still being edited, so things might have changed since the time that I cover this, but I'm trying to do my best to bring this to you guys as soon as they pop up. As soon as I notice them, at least. Anyway, so we have the May 12th stream. And just to go over a couple things to start with. So Darkfall's loser trigger is coming up, 4-player trigger quest, 30 minutes. Omega Loser's camo supports all 9 types or categories and can sell. So it supports, it supports 9 categories, they being weapons basically. It's sellable, I think, on my ship right now. On ship 2, it's like 180 mil or something stupid like that. It's expensive right now, so hey, if you get it, that's money, dude. And no incapacitation limit, which is interesting. I guess they don't want to do the incapacitation limit like they did with the other trigger quests. And here's where things get interesting. Plans for players in the future. Now, of course, this is being edited as we go along. I'm actually going to refresh the page just in case anything changes. If my refresh goes through, yeah, it did. Okay, cool. So nothing did. But the goal is to play with your favorite weapon type and class, strengthen the concepts of each class, improve the amenities. I don't know if this is used in the right context. I don't like that. But anyway, have other classes experience the amenities on a similar level to hero. Improve the weaknesses in each class, improve the poor parts of each class. It's really vague. We don't know what that means. It's basically, they're saying that every class is going to be as fun as hero to play. We'll have to see. Hero's a very, very smooth class. There are some that are already, I think, are pretty smooth. I personally think Braver is pretty smooth, and it's katana play at the very least. I don't have any experience with bows, so I can't really say for certain. Fighter can be a bit smoother, but it has its downsides. Not as good as some others. And Hunter, I guess, is okay, depending upon the weapon you're talking about. Sword Hunter's having some rough times. But the other 2 weapons are pretty good. But we'll have to see. It definitely, none of the classes are as smooth as Hero, but I'm hoping that's what they mean, is by making them a more enjoyable experience overall. But future plans have all weapons support double jump. Why has this not been a thing forever, Sega? Thank Christ. I'm real talk, guys. When I read this, I was like, holy fuck, finally. Jesus, it's been out of time. Implement First Blood-like skills, making the just attack, or the step just attack, almost maybe useless, depending upon the way they implement the skills, but we'll have to see. It'll be nice to have an extra ring slot. And then here's an even better one. This will be interesting. Turn some rings into charms, like in Zeke's client orders. So, speculation basis, of course, but say instead of having to have like the standard rings, like there's air reversal, what else? Air reversal, what else do I usually use? Step just attack. I'm trying to think of any other rings I normally use. Step just attack, air reversal. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but like just the standard rings. I know some people use like the jump ring. I know a lot of gunners use that. Things like that. You know, a lot of rings that we find that we use in our left slot that are just, they go for multi-class, like multiple classes can use them, and well, it kind of sucks that we have to use them in armor slots, because then you can't swap things. I mean, you pretty much just run out of left ring space. So they're looking into changing that. Well, my idea is they're looking into making those into charms. Hopefully those are the rings that get changed into charms. I feel like that would make the most sense. Anyway, we'll continue. So here's I read this and I was like, okay, maybe. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I totally agree. My alarm is going to go off any second, and I know it, and I have to remember how to stop it, because I forgot to not, wait, no. Actually, no, it's not going to go off. Continuing. I just don't want that to interrupt the video. So here's where we can agree and we can disagree. I don't know how I feel about these, but we'll have to see what they change. Hunter's future. Now, this is the idea that they have of what they want to do. Hunter will be moving in more of a class with high durability. Ranger is support type all-arounder. Force, high-powered long-distance attacker makes sense to me. Debatable, but understanding. Extremely debatable, depending upon who you're talking to. Some people feel like this. There's also this. Or at least sustained damage, you know, whatever. Braver's future being all-rounder that excels in mobility. Okay, I can agree with that. Close range and far range attacker with mobility. Makes sense. Support type for bounce. So Bouncer's future. Okay, let me read this in the right order. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's try this one time. So Hunter's future is class with high durability. Ranger's future, support type all-rounder. Force's future, looking at high-powered long-distance attacker. Braver's future, looking at all-rounder that excels in mobility. Bouncer's future, support type all-rounder that excels with range. Hopefully they mean adding range to it, not excelling specifically with range. Because dual blades, maybe there'll be like more blade throwing. Maybe that'll be a bigger thing, is like blade throwing more often. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, actually, I'd be okay with that. It'd be kind of cool. I'm getting off topic. I'm starting to brainstorm ideas in my head of ways that I would love Bouncer to change, but anyone who watches my stream knows that I do that all the time. Summoner's future is extended feature so that it can be active while adapting to each pet. So I guess more pet hot swapping and using more of your pets, hopefully. Fighter's future is supposed to just make it a better close range attacker with high power, which a high power attacker is limit break, but doesn't really make it the greatest close range attacker because it's easy way to get killed. Gunner's future, a mid-range attacker with burst damage. I feel like that makes sense for Gunner. Tekker's future being a support type attacker that deals in close range attacks and can buff. Okay, I'll accept that. And Hero's future being an all... Okay, so this is really important, guys, for everyone who freaks out about Hero all the time. All-purpose class that is easy to use. Their intention was for Hero to be simple. Granted, at a very high level, you can play Hero very well, and you can do a lot of damage. I'm hoping their goal is to make all classes get to that at a high level. They can play those classes very well and do a lot of damage. Some classes are near there. Some classes are already there. But others aren't, and it feels bad. But, yes, all-purpose class that is easy to use. Easy to use. It's supposed to be easy. The skill floor. I use this terminology a lot in my stream. Skill ceiling and skill floor. The skill ceiling is the best someone can be with the class, the absolute epitome of top. Like if we were going to go on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 would be the top damage, 1 would be the lowest. We're talking 10 for, you know, 10 absolute top best someone can perform. So they're 10. And skill floor is the absolute worst you can perform with that class. Of course, you could just do nothing, which would make no sense. But it's the absolute worst you can perform with the class itself. Still, I guess, trying in some sense. Or I guess technically you would want to probably put that at like a middle ground of some sort. I'm starting to mumble on, but the point of this being, when I mentioned skill ceiling and skill floor, skill ceiling being the best you can do, skill floor being almost not the worst, but you know, more or less. Now the thing about Hero is the skill ceiling is very, very high. We can use like I mean, I'm not actually saying this is actual numbers, but I'll use Bouncer for example. Skill ceiling for Hero being very high, skill ceiling for Bouncer being not really all that high, just, you know, okay, you know, it's around here. It's not super difficult to play, but it does have some nuances that makes it kind of difficult. Now, in my opinion, the skill floor for Hero, now, again, I'll repeat, in my opinion, this is my opinion, this is how my take on the situation, it's not necessarily the absolute way that it works. You are welcome to have your own. The skill floor for Hero is still pretty freaking high. Playing at your worst, you can still play really, really well. Actually, in some cases, it's really close to the skill ceiling of Bouncer, in my opinion, of what we're looking at here. So, playing like kind of crap, you can still do really good damage on Hero. meaning that hero skill ceiling and hero skill floor are both extremely high. Whereas my opinion goes of Bouncer's skill floor, if you play it like shit, you do like nothing. You do barely anything at all. It's really bad, actually. Hopefully the idea is to bring at least the skill ceilings closer. Oh, I hit my microphone, sorry guys. At least the skill ceilings closer. Skill floors I don't give a shit about, at least me personally, because that's just the average player, and I think the average player should strive to get better, but that's not how everyone feels. But I digress. Moving on. We're also looking at future S4 super abilities for Mother and Deus battle, or for the Mother and Deus battle. We're getting a new our new EQ that we're supposed to be getting, our next new super boss, I suppose you could call it, is supposed to be a mix of Mother and Deus. I'm not sure if they're just going to have Mother and then Deus afterwards, or they're going to mix and match them together, or they're going to put them on one field, who knows. Hopefully it'll be cool. But yeah, we're supposed to get Mother and Deus, and they'll be implemented in, or the S4s will be implemented, or they'll be implementing an item that can add an S4 or a S4 ability. I'm not sure if it's this S4 specifically. I guess it might be a drop from Mother and Deus. Quina's Genesis weapon, it should be coming in a future SG scratch. They're thinking maybe as an accessory, maybe as a camo, who knows. New 14 stars for Mother and Deus quest. We don't know what they are. We'll have to wait. We'll have to see. Level 90 cap they talked about. We should be getting with the new class skills too. They'll be implementing later this year. So we'll be getting level 90 this year, which it's already May, so I guess that makes sense. People asking what the deal is with 14-star pets. All pets will eventually support this. However, Wanda, Torum, Arrow, I don't know how is it a celery, I guess, or Sari, you pronounce it, Jinga, and Papa will will get first dibs on becoming 14-star pets. I'm sure they're going to get all the rest of them eventually. What is going on with Buster Quest? Can't speak sometimes. They have plans for a Buster Quest in the future. This is going to be like Endless Belligerence, therefore an emergency Buster Quest. I don't think anyone cares. I personally wasn't a huge fan of Buster Quest. They were a nice take and a change on tower defense, but people are getting tired of you making tower defense quests. SEGA, just let it go. Tower defense isn't always fun. It's fun in small bursts, but not as every single EQ. Tower defense 7, 6, 5. I meant that as the first two. We're getting more on the other one that we already have. Anyway, Loser's Trigger Quest again. Now, this was interesting when I read it. The trigger quest, or the trigger won't drop from the trigger quest itself. I think they're talking about when we had Forest as a limited quest, it dropped the trigger. And the trigger was basically the same run, but it was 4-man, it was only 5 maximum deaths, and there was a shorter timer on it, as well as at the end of it, you could also have a chance to get the trigger to just drop again. Theoretically, having an infinite rotation of triggers over and over. I mean, I have 20 of these triggers, just because we wouldn't go through all of them. We would find triggers as we were doing the runs. You have 4 people that are also possibly getting triggers. It just keeps compounding on itself. It got ridiculous. So the trigger drop rate is similar to, I guess, yeah, the Enchanted Forest triggers drop rate. Apparently you can sell the triggers, because you could sell the Enchanted Forest triggers before too, so whatever. A Dark Rappy suit. Due to feedback, they're currently investigating if they should create a Dark Rappy suit or maybe even a pet. People want a Dark Rappy suit? I guess like an evil looking Rappy of some sort, not just like the Black Rappy suit. I think we have one of those, don't we? Maybe we don't. Maybe that's why they're talking about this. I don't remember. I'll have to look at this after we play, or after we finish SEP. I'm just now getting back into PSO2 again, so I'll have to take a look. Maybe we don't have Dark Rappy suit. I'm thinking maybe red. Moving on. We'll catch up with that later. Yeah, so when is Hero's next level cap? Before the end of the year, Hero will get level 90. So they didn't necessarily say that Hero will get level 90 the same time that all the other classes got level 90, but they're saying, I guess, that Hero is going to be behind the other classes. I don't know why. Just pose the question. If SEGA wants to make the other classes as fun, why leave Hero behind in levels? Well, you know, it may be kind of, and I hate to use this as an example, if anyone's ever played MapleStory, there was that set of classes that were always a lower level, easier level, stronger at very low levels. I think I like capped at like 120 when everyone was capped at like 200. but could stand up to the other classes at the same time. I think maybe that they're trying to take that aspect or that approach on it. Who knows? And Conqueror's Crest lineup. For now, Conqueror's Crest lineup will stay as it currently is, or as it is currently. I don't agree with this. I still say I mean, with the current increase in drop rates of 14 stars and how bad people's luck is, how many 14 stars can possibly drop, and the fact that Conqueror's Crests exist in the first place, I still believe we should have one of two systems. Either one, allow players to trade in 14 stars that are currently only droppable, maybe even the old 14 stars, not even the new ones, the old 14 stars that are only droppable, like maybe 1, 2, or maybe like 3 of them or something. 3 would be ridiculous. I'd say maybe 2. For a 14 star of their choice of the old types. I feel like that's a system that apparently I've been told that SEGA has said that they can't do that because of some issue, that some technological issue. They wouldn't be able to make that happen. I think that's bullshit. I really think that they should be able to do something like this. I feel like it's a fair system to have in the game, especially when RNG is such a heavy factor on being able to play at your best. It's not just skill. Some classes legitimately are just that much better with these weapons. Bouncer included. Jupiter Tullus is freely buff, extremely buff, and he got buffed. So it's even buffer than it was before, which is like double buff. I've said the word buff way too many times in the past 30 seconds. We're moving on now. Anyway, either that or my secondary system, which is just allow you to trade in your weapons, like the 14-star weapons, for Conqueror's Crests. I mean, omit the series that you can upgrade into 14 stars, of course. That way you can't artificially just create Conqueror's Crests over and over again. Granted, you wouldn't be able to do that anyway, since you can only make one of the current ones we have, and we just got a new 14 star that you can upgrade to. But still, it would allow us to be able to utilize maybe some of the useless 14 stars. I say useless to the individual that may not even want them. For example, just in the last 24 hours, I got 2 14 stars since coming back to the game in a day, actually, which is crazy. But the worst part about it is I got a launcher that I don't play Ranger. I mean, yeah, I got a buff leveling weapon if I ever get to the level that I actually use it, and it would be short-lived if anything. And I got a pair of Knuckles, my least favorite fighter weapon, which I know plenty of fighters that weapon would be amazing on, but it's wasted on me. Both of those weapons are useless to me, but I have like maybe 300 to 320 Conqueror's Crest right now, since I haven't been playing a whole lot since I've been away, that those weapons could help go towards. I could be 100 Conqueror's Crest closer, if not have my own weapon. That's kind of crap anyway, since it's only level 30 plus. Or only plus level 30, so... I mean, you guys take it for as you will. I don't personally like the idea that Conqueror's Crest lineups are still as they are. I'm sure that over time you will get your crests, it'll be fine, but we have a lot of weapons that are just sitting where we could potentially use them. Moving on. I apologize about the tangent and the rant, guys. Thought about this a lot and talked a lot in my talked my stream a lot about it too. So here apparently, now granted those of you guys who can read Japanese, is apparently a list of players and how they feel about their current jobs. I know this is Hunter, Ranger, Force. I want to say this is Braver, and I know that's Bouncer. I didn't get a chance to get the other ones to translate, so if anyone else can translate, you're more than welcome to go ahead and do so and post it in the comments. That would be awesome. But these are supposed to be people voting on how they feel about their class. A good majority of people are okay with Hunter, which is interesting. But it's Hunter, Force, or Hunter, Ranger, Force, Braver, Bouncer. More people are okay with Bouncer than I'm happy with. Those people might be Jet Boots Bouncers. Those people might be Jet Boots Bouncers. I don't know, maybe I'm reading this graph wrong. It probably am. If I am, feel free to mention it in the comments, guys, so we can clean that up. But anyway, moving further down, Spring Survey Class Evaluation. So this is explaining it. This chart represents the level of satisfaction and dissatisfaction based on the player's Spring Survey. It appears that many are extremely satisfied with Hero. Shocker. However, it seems that the players are dissatisfied with Force and Summoner. So this is Force. I'm assuming this is Summoner, since it's the two that are highest to satisfaction. Summoner, definitely I can understand that. I've seen people really, really upset with Summoner. Tekker and Hunter received pretty lukewarm responses. So Hunter's here. Tekker might be somewhere over here, maybe, because I know it's not these two. Maybe Tekker is one of these two, because they're pretty average. while fighter and braver seem to be in good standing compared to the other, while fighter and braver seem to be in good standing compared to the other standard classes. So fighter, I know braver is, let's see, hunter. Braver was here, so people are okay with braver, yeah. Pretty good amount with braver. And I imagine that's probably fighter right there. So process of elimination. So we have fighter, we know that's summoner. You know this is bouncer, we know this is braver. No, that's force, ranger, hunter. Was it, you figured these were Tekker, right? Like one of these is Tekker, right? No, I'm not. I know this is hero. Yeah, that's obvious. But anyway, oh, gunner. Gunner's on here too. But gunner's not mentioned. Yeah. Same with bouncer. I think this was when we decided it was bouncer. Yeah. Bouncer, gunner. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. Moving on, as you can see the huge difference in satisfaction between hero and the other classes. Yeah, you can, it's ridiculous. How crazy. SEGA's future goal is to have you play PSO2 with your favorite weapon and favorite class and weapon. In order to do this, they'll be focusing on strengthening the concept of each class, clarifying its standing position. In addition, they are looking to make it possible for other classes to experience amenities on. Okay, so that we went over this. They wish to improve the poor areas of classes, improving these three aspects, and make it so people can enjoy PSO2. We have had a lot bad to say about SEGA. That's a good thing. This is a positive thing. We don't want to condemn them for trying to figure this out. At least they're looking. Granted, they screwed it up a lot of times. But I've said it beforehand. I don't want to condemn someone for trying to do the right thing. When you continue to do the wrong thing, you're misguided. You might be a little dumb. Okay. That's fine. If you're trying to do the right thing, that means at least you see that there's a problem. It's the first step. On May 9th, they implemented skills to clarify the strong points of each class. You can read a list of these skills in previous patches. Okay, so this is all the stuff that they added in. So yeah, hunters got their war cry, enhancing their party supporting abilities through war cry. Ranger evaluating their fighting power by enhancing trap support functions and PP recovery abilities. Force increasing their DPS by reducing charge times. Bouncer enhancing their support characteristics. They just made it so our fields can auto deploy and we have them up at all times. Okay. Summoner, improve their safety so they can battle while focusing only on their pet. Tekker, enhance their supportive capabilities, ensuring that you can provide support techniques you can just cast from across the room now. Interesting. May 9th also focus on improving the poor parts of each class. Braver, relaxing the point of difficulty with balancing bows and katanas, making it so your katana unleashed thingy-mabob works on bows too. Cool. Fighter, reducing the risk of limit break, also increasing its charge time, how long it takes for it to come off cooldown if you happen to receive fatal damage. So less deaths on fighters, which is good, but less overall damage, which kind of sucks. So I guess that's balance if you think about it. A gunner, improving its weak point in regard to how poorly it handles wide ranged attacks. Better mobbing. Good thing. By the way, guys, this is all added on after. None of this was here before. Okay, so it looks like these are getting updated in real time, so more of this will be added onto this. I highly recommend checking out the Bumped website. Even after you watch this video, there may be more information that I don't have on here. But moving on. So let's see here. The plan is to add the following features to the game in the future. Implement a double jump for all weapons. Implement a class similar to... Okay, so this is just going over this closer. Hunter satisfaction. I think this is just for hunters. The majority of players gave Hunter an okay rating with 42%, the entire pie chart. If we were to combine satisfaction, dissatisfaction totals, you would reach 31% dissatisfied, 70 or 27% satisfied players. Players seem to love Hunter's mobbing capabilities as well as its defensive capabilities with Automate and Massive Hunter. However, they seem to not like the heavy reliance on sword gear. They also don't like the sacrifice bite cancels when you switch weapons. Okay, so this is what I can agree with. I've heard hunters talk about this. I don't feel like this is a problem anymore. I feel like the sword gear thing's a non-issue, but I'm not a hunter. So you hunters out there, sound off in the comments. Let me know what's up. I'm curious. The future of hunters. As for hunters, they are exceeding its characteristics of being class high durability. Hunters, okay. Hunter is a class that excels in combat, hate management, and party support. That's interesting because their hate management is okay, but it's not. Hero almost combats it. In the future, there will be updates that make use of the strong points by adding situations where multiple enemies or strong enemies spawn. Interesting. So making hunters matter more by strengthening enemies and making sure they're attacking the hunt. Almost moving to the Holy Trinity thought process. That's kind of cool. Okay, I'm all for that, SEGA. Yep, you keep going. This video is going to be longer than I thought it was going to be because it added more content that I wasn't ready for. I'm going to refresh this before we end, too, just to make sure, because I see more stuff. Ranger satisfaction. The majority of players gave Ranger an okay rating with 38%. Slightly more people are satisfied with Ranger than are dissatisfied. Players seem to love Ranger's supportiveness through Weak Bullet. I think other players just love Weak Bullet more than the Ranger loves Weak Bullet. I think Ranger having Weak Bullet just happens to be a part of it, whatever. And appear to enjoy the thrill or rodeo drive type 0. However, Rangers seem to dislike the evasion performance of dive rolls. They also seem to be dissatisfied with the increased reliance on standing snipe. They also don't like how difficult it is to battle with Weak Bullet loaded. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that is. Maybe I should level Ranger. Maybe SEGA was giving me a sign by giving me that launcher. Okay. Ranger features. As for Rangers, they are extending its characteristics as being a support type all-rounder in the future. I don't know if that's how Rangers feel, but we'll see. In the future, they will add situations that demonstrates its true value by adding quests that you can spend time going through. Interesting. So they're not just changing up the classes. From what I understand here, they're changing up the game to have better use of the classes. Again, that's really good. That's a very positive change. He is literally adding to this as I'm doing this video. Okay. Force satisfaction. Forces are a bit unstable in opinions among the player base. Of note, dissatisfied took 29% of the entire chart. If we combine dissatisfied and really dissatisfied, the total takes up exactly half of the pie chart. Half of the pie. When the forces aren't angry at the development team, they seem to love the class's high firepower and ease of compound technique usage, and the buffs given to traveling techniques. You know, that's actually fair to say. I've seen forces that are just like, Force is terrible, Force is trash, I hate the way Force is playing right now, and then I watch those same forces absolutely demolish enemies with ease. Like, and it's not just like maybe one force. I mean, I've seen multiple forces. Like, dude, Force on Dragon, forget about it. It's ridiculous. But I mean, they're not great in everything. Then again, I see forces do really good in a lot of situations. They are flimsy, which is fair, I think, but we'll see. However, they seem to not like their HP and defense is low. How much of a burden it is to play, or how much burden it is to pay for customized techniques. That's fair. I think this is a kind of a pain in the ass. And the high reliance on elemental conversion. Can we talk about that for Bouncer, please? Please tell me you're going to talk about that for Bouncer. And the high reliance on elemental conversion, making it hard to prepare weapons by element. As for Forces, they are extending its characteristics of being a high-powered long-distance attacker. They believe this class can further exhibit its strengths by being aware of your position in relation. Wow, why couldn't I read that word? By being aware of your position in relation to the enemy. So even though you have prepared your weapons in advance, if certain conditions are met, you're capable of becoming very powerful. I want to refresh this again and see if anything more adds. I was kind of hoping more would get added, not gonna lie. So guys, actually, so I came into this a little excited. Now that I'm reading more of it, I am extremely excited. I'm actually really pumped for these changes to come in. If they work out. If they play them right. Because they're not talking about just changing the classes. They're talking about changing the game to make the classes matter. Making enemies that need to be pulled in and slightly tanked. Making situations of if a force is prepared and knows how to position properly, they can absolutely annihilate enemies. I guess do something about rate. I don't know what they meant by, like, I'll be fair, if you guys understood this a little bit more than I did, by all means please tell me. But I don't know what they meant by in the future they will add situations that demonstrates its true value by adding quests that you can spend time going through. I don't get it. Hopefully we get some more information about that later. I want to refresh this. I need to end this video, but I want more. I want more information. I just want to get a bouncer. Actually, to be perfectly honest, I want to know what they told people about bouncer, and I want them to tell them that, hey, get rid of elemental stance. It's irritating as fuck. Also, we need more PP regen, because relying on D-band or D-band and freaking shift all the time sucks. But well, reliance on D-band sucks, but for PP regen. But anyway, sound off the comments, guys. Let me know what you think. This is really, really cool. I'm pretty excited. I'm glad that Sega's finally taken a big hard look at what the player base says. I didn't hear about these evaluations. I hope the right people talk, or we're making the right noise. This says a lot. This says a lot right here. 31% of people were very, I mean, like, look at this. This is crazy. Almost 80%. I would say, yeah, about 80%. Actually, yeah, a little under. A little over, actually. Yeah, a little over 80%. I could actually just do the math. Fucking Christ. 8 to 14. 86%? 86%? Yeah, 86%. 86% of players were satisfied with Hero. There's nowhere near anything else. Not even close. That says a lot, and it's good that Sega realizes that it says a lot and they're doing something about it. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your hopes are for your classes. I'm going to post this link, as I always do, in the comments, and I highly recommend you guys check this out for yourselves, because man, oh man, am I actually pumped to play this game again. Which is scary, because I haven't been. I was just farming to level up. That was it. But I need to end this video before I ramble on for any longer, guys. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.